Hi, I'm Tori Nair, a career counselor in Aurora University's Career Services Office. Today, we're going to talk about job search strategies. And the strategies and tips that we talk about today are also applicable as you're looking for internships or even part time positions while you're in school. So, the first step in the job search strategy, or the first step as you move forward through your job search, is doing some research and really preparing your resume and cover letter and any other documents that you need as you're applying. So, you're going to want to go online and do some research. What kinds of companies are you interested in? What types of positions are of interest to you? And these sites listed here, the Occupational Outlook Handbook, Handshake, Indeed, are just some sites that might give you some ideas of things that are available to you in your major. You also can then prepare and update your resume. So some of you might already have a resume ready to go, but just going through and updating it, making sure it looks good, making sure it's tailored to the positions you're applying for, as well as making sure your LinkedIn profile is updated or created if you don't have one, and maybe even including in a portfolio or writing samples if you need for your major. The next step then is starting the search. And these sites listed here are some of the main sites that we recommend our students to at least start with. And one thing I will emphasize here is there's not one website that you should focus only on. Handshake is one that we obviously have and use a lot here at AU. And LinkedIn's another big one that we use a lot, but that's not the only place to search. Okay, so definitely utilize those two resources, but feel free to go on Indeed, go on ZipRecruiter. There may be other sites that you find that are useful for you and your major. And so go on those sites and get an idea of what's out there. Also, if you know of the companies you're interested in, maybe there's certain companies that you know you want to work for, go directly to their websites. And I can't emphasize this enough. If you can apply directly to the website itself and to the company itself, that's going to make you stand out in a job search or an internship search more than somebody who just applies through Indeed. So even if you find the position on Indeed or you see it on Handshake, definitely go to their actual website and apply if possible. You can see there's also career fairs. We host one every fall and spring on campus. There might be other networking events you can attend. And even third party recruiting companies like LaSalle Network and some of these others may have opportunities. So don't hesitate to use those. Again, that shouldn't be your only source of looking for a job or an internship, but it can be one of the sources in addition to the others listed here. Also, some tips for when searching is start with a broad search when you're on these job boards. Start with something that, maybe you're just looking broadly, you have put in a keyword or your major, and then you can locate, filter it by location, filter it by something more specific. So be open-minded. I think a lot of times students and recent grads, when they're applying for positions, are real like, I want something that's remote, I want something or hybrid, or I don't want to drive too far from my house, or I want something that's specifically in a company that I really want to work for. But be open-minded, think of everything as a stepping stone to the next phase. So maybe you find a position that's awesome, but maybe it's not as close to home as you'd like, or maybe you find a remote position, but you'd prefer in person. Still apply and give yourself those options, because you never know what it might lead to. And sometimes you might go on the interview and it leads to something more than you thought, or maybe you just learn a little bit more about what you don't want, and that's okay too. Make sure to tailor your materials to the position. So use those job descriptions for clues on keywords to put in your resume, put in your application, in your cover letter, and make sure to really spend time filling out the application. Sometimes it seems like you're reiterating your whole resume again, or you maybe upload your resume and it fills in things for you, but sometimes it doesn't do it correctly. So always go through and just make sure everything looks good before you hit submit. Then follow up. So now you've applied to a bunch of positions. You should be tracking these somewhere. So whether it's an Excel spreadsheet, whether it's on just a plain Word document, whether you have it on a piece of paper, but track where you're applying, when you've applied, what positions, all that kind of thing, because then you can follow up. A lot of times what's setting people apart in this current job market is the follow-up, right? And so say you apply to a position today and maybe a week or two has gone by and you haven't heard anything, you can reach out and say, I just want to check on the status of my application. So it's always good to follow up and just kind of make notes of when you last followed up and who you talked to and the next steps you need to take. Also, as you're applying to places and as you're reaching out to more places and following up, you'll probably start getting some calls and emails for interviews. And so you want to start preparing for them. And these are some tips right here about that. This is a whole separate video that you can watch about how to prepare for interviews. But know that we are here in Career Services to help you as you prep for interviews with companies, and as you prep for what to ask them at the end of the interview and all that kind of stuff. but you want to be prepared. You don't want to just wing it for interviews. Then you want to keep on networking. Networking is something you should be doing all the time, not just when you're job searching. LinkedIn is one main source for that. And again, we have a whole separate video on LinkedIn and how to use it. Career fairs are another great one. Like I said, we have those every fall and spring on campus, but there might be other times employers come to campus, either in classes or site visits or workshops. Some professors, even if you've graduated, those professors are still good contacts to have, because we may know of people or hear of opportunities that you wouldn't otherwise hear of. Getting involved in the community, either on and off campus, is really helpful. Volunteering, sometimes just going and volunteering for a cause that is of interest to you, even if it's nothing related to your career, can be a great way to meet people and just learn more about what else is out there. And then again, just talking to people, your friends, your family, your coworkers, people you know just from neighbors, people you know from when you were a kid. Those are all great people. They're all part of your network, and you never know who they may know to be able to connect you to your next awesome opportunity. And then again, the final step is just keep going through everything, keep following those first four steps. Be persistent, follow up, don't give up. Follow up is key right now. If you need to change up your strategy, do so. You might be sending the same resume and it's not working out, and now you've tailored it and now you're getting more responses. Try new things, see what is helpful and what doesn't work. Be open to feedback. Like I said, we can help you in career services. So if you feel stuck and you just want to schedule a time to kind of go through what you've been doing and what worked and what didn't work, we can help kind of brainstorm other ideas and other things that we can do to help move your search along. But again, we are here for you in the entire process, whether it's for the interviewing or whether it's just for the job search strategy, whether it's your resume, whatever it is, we can help you through the process. And that's what I have here. If you have questions, reach out to us, career@aurora.edu. You can always schedule an appointment on Handshake. We're available in person, over Zoom, over phone, however you need, to meet your needs. And so as you're looking through different job boards or as you're filling out applications, you may have questions, and that's what we're here to help with. So don't hesitate to reach out, and we're happy to help you get to your next step, whether it's that internship or full-time job that you're looking for.